Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Superman and Lois Season 4, but also just the final bonus video, I guess you could say, before Superman and Lois comes to an end. And that is in just a couple of days from now. I think 2? I want to say 2, hopefully, from when this video will be uploaded. We're going to have the final ever episode of Superman and Lois hit our screens, whether you're watching it live or watching it just, within that 24-hour period after it comes out. This, of course, not just being the final episode ever for the show, but also the final ever episode of DC TV on the CW, thus ending an era, a massive era, spanning over 20 years. I think it's 23, 24 years or something like that, starting all the way back with Smallville, and now ending with Superman and Lois. Quite fitting that it's a Superman-based show kicking it off back in the day, and now a Superman show ending it as well. Pretty crazy and just sort of, just fitting, as I said. But as you would expect with the series finale, there will be wrap-ups and hopefully surprises coming our way, whether they are large, medium, or small. Depends, I guess, your opinion on those. But of course, that's overall just a wait and see in regards to whether there is any real surprises. But I would be more surprised if there's no surprises. But I thought in this video we would touch upon what we have been told about the series finale for the show, as well as some final expectations and predictions for what is coming our way. Without really diving into any spoilers, but also referencing some stuff which I don't think really is spoilers, but it's just sort of like a basis to sort of just start a bit of a conversation, if you want to put it. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below what you are looking forward to the most in this upcoming series finale. Are you expecting something, satisfying, anything like that? Let me know in the comment section down below what you're looking forward to, as well as any, final theories and predictions. Always curious to hear what you guys are thinking. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, want to show your support, and you're looking forward to this series finale, and hopefully, I think a couple of days, like 2 days from now, when this video will go up, be sure to drop a like on the video. It takes 2 seconds. Now, the first thing I wanted to touch upon is what has been said. Now, there's 4 things here which I've sort of noted down that have sort of been touched upon and said about this finale from either months and months ago, like at Comic-Con, for example, when they had the Superman and Lois panel there, and they talked about the show, as well as even when they were filming, and also just in like around the time that the show premiered its final season, a month and a half ago, whenever it was, and through interviews and stuff, and what they've said about this finale specifically, not the season as a whole, but what was going to come our way in episode 10, the series finale. So one of the big ones that had people sort of going back and forth and wondering, okay, who's it going to be? What are they talking about here? Is that Bitsy Tulloch did say that there's a surprise cameo in the series finale specifically, not like episode, what was it, 8 or something, when, was it 8? Yeah, 8, I think it was, when Tom Cavanaugh showed up as Gordon Godfrey, for example. Nothing, even though that wasn't really a cameo, that was more of a guest role. It's not like that. So she said it's specifically the series finale, and it's obviously not anyone that showed up this season yet. So it's not going to be like Jimmy Olsen, for example, or Bruno Mannheim, like we had last episode, or whatever it is. It's going to be someone that at least hasn't appeared this season as of yet. It could be someone from previously on the show, like in season 1 to 3. But it isn't someone that's appeared already this season. Now, we know a character like Tal-Rho is not it, because the showrunner said that Tal-Rho is not in this season. I think they just couldn't get the actor. I think they said that there might have been a chance for them to do something with the character, even if it was like a flashback or something like that. But also probably logistically wouldn't have made sense because he's on Bizarro World, and I don't know if he'd be able to get back. But a lot of people were wondering, okay, well, who's a surprise cameo going to be? Now, there's been endless choices in regards to, it's the Flash, it's Supergirl, it's David Corenswet or something like that. Look, I would say don't set expectations too high, but just keep it in the back of your head, because that's always a good thing. Just to, I guess, keep there. I don't know. I think the 2 ones that I see the one I see the most, because the other one I was going to mention I'm not necessarily saying it a lot, but the one I see the most is Supergirl. I think Supergirl, it would be a bit of a, I don't want to say slap in the face, but I feel like it's a bit of one that probably doesn't help the ending, especially if it's like Supergirl landing on Earth or something like that, because then you're setting something up that can't be shown or developed further. Though you could go, well, we know what happens with Supergirl. I mean, we have the Supergirl show, which sort of shows the other side of that. I don't know. I don't see that happening, but the one, I don't know, I still, for some reason, I don't think it's the case. I definitely don't think it's the case, but for some reason, I just still think there's a good chance, for whatever reason it is, that it could be Stephen Amell as Spectre or Oliver Queen. Or even if it just inserts Oliver Queen, but specifically Spectre. I could easily see that. I don't know why. Well, I know why. It's because he was filming the Suits LA pilot in Vancouver roughly around the time they were wrapping up Superman Lois. So it's easy they could have gotten there for a couple of hours to do a cameo. But that's my only real reasoning behind that. I don't know. If you have any ideas who you think the surprise cameo could be, once again, let me know in the comments. But as I said, maybe not go into the episode with that being the only thing on your mind, because like I guess like 99 times out of 100 when there's been that tease, it's usually a letdown because people jump to like the highest extremes. So I don't know. Let me know who you think it could be. Another thing that we've heard is that it's going to be very emotional, like as in like like very sad, but also satisfying in a way. So I think the emotional stuff probably comes with maybe like some of the stuff that we already know is happening with like Superman's clearly going to have to retire. I know that people think that Superman's going to die, and that could obviously be the sad angle. I would be shocked in like a bad way if they killed Superman again. He already died once and his heart ripped out, so I don't think they're going to do anything like that, but they'll probably push Superman to the extreme. The only thing I can think of if they do kill Superman, if it's like literally the final shot of the show, but I think that's not a very satisfying thing to do, to be completely honest. But I think the emotional stuff is like the stuff that we've already sort of seen this season, but to a larger point come this series finale, especially with all the fight stuff going on and what's happening with Superman himself with his body and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't doubt at all that it's going to be one, emotional, and two, satisfying. Superman Lois has been way too consistent of a show to, I think, drop the ball in the end. And there's no real cracks that appear, so I'd be very surprised if all of a sudden there's an earthquake which rips up the show in the final 5 minutes. Another thing, the second last thing that's sort of been said leading into this series finale is big set pieces. Now, I guess we already know what these are going to be, like the stuff with Doomsday that already started at the end of last episode. Then, of course, we have, this, like we've seen in the trailers, going to be a fight between Superman and Lex Luthor in the exosuit, and there's going to be some stuff with the Superboys as well. And we know like the Superman's going to the sun as well. So I think those, like, I think we already sort of understand that. It will be interesting to see if there's anything else outside of that, even if it's just like the editing and like a montage or something like that, which would be very interesting. But once again, we sort of already, I guess, got the idea that there'd be those big set pieces based off the trailer and also how last episode ended. And the final thing that was sort of said about this series finale specifically, and I think this was Todd Helbing, like the main showrunner, I guess you could say, the guy that's been there since the beginning, who used to, of course, do The Flash. He said that the show, or the series finale, is a fitting end to not just Superman Lois as a show, but he says it should be a fairly comfortable ending to the Arrowverse as well, without specifically, like, I guess, like earth hopping and stuff like that. And it makes me wonder how. I know people will jump to, oh, that's where the surprise cameo comes in. But I think it's maybe just more like the tone of it all, maybe. I think that might be it. And there might even be like something else in there, like that's a surprise that I don't think I'd be able to guess at this point. That could be a touch upon that, but also I don't think they're necessarily going to have like a portal open and Grant Gustin and Melissa Benoist and David Ramsey as Diggle and all these characters just walk out Avengers Endgame style. I don't see that happening because I think that'd just be a bit corny. Be a cool clip moment, but I think overall, just in the context of the show, it'd be a bit corny. But it would be interesting to see what he means by that. And I'm assuming that there'll probably be an interview or interviews coming out after the series finale, whether it's with Todd Helbing specifically or like Tyler Hoechlin or Bitsy Tulloch or just the showrunners or people associated with the show. That's a wait and see. If there's anything of interest there, of course, we'll talk about it, but they might dive into maybe some alternate endings and other plans they might have had about how to end the show that they went against and decided to go with the one that's going to be in this week's episode. But now let's get into the expectations. I've only got 3 written down here because I didn't really want to flood it with all this stuff. The first thing, and we've already touched upon it, is the Superman retirement, essentially. I think this is clearly going to happen based on everything that's been said. It was even arguably set up in this week's episode, and even in the trailer, it seems to be like sort of touched upon. But I think it's more how they handle it. Not only just like Superman losing his powers and deciding not to use them anymore and giving up that Superman mantle, but I think also the handling of, I guess, the mantle, but more the responsibility to Jordan and Jonathan, the Superboys. Because I don't think they're just all of a sudden going to be called the Supermen. They're still probably going to be called Superboy. I don't know, maybe one of them will be called something else. I'm not too sure. But I'm interested to see that thing. And I think we might get a really cool scene, like maybe in like the thick of it, if you want to put it. Not a KSI reference, but just like in the thick of the action, where there's like Jordan and Jonathan like get that responsibility and that like, and like, just clearance, if you want to put it, from their dad, like, hey, it's time for you to make up your own mind. I trust you. So I think we're going to get something like that, and it will be interesting to see how it's done and also when it's done. Another thing, and it sort of actually connects to the third one, but the second one is just Smallville revitalized. I have a feeling we're going to end the show with Smallville being prosperous, because that was also teased this season with like Lex wanting to come in and buy, and everyone was like, well, Smallville's sort of just been getting, you know, lower and lower and lower in the economic scale. Like, why would I not take this $5 bajillion offer for my $100,000 house or $100,000 property? Like, why would I not do that? I'm not an idiot. So I have a feeling we're going to see a change there, but I think this will tie potentially into the flash forward we might be getting. Now, I've heard people like saying like, oh, is the flash forward just been this over tease? There's no confirmation about a flash forward, but there was a said photo which definitely hints at it. And I won't specifically say what it says, but it has to do with Steelworks. And Steelworks was something that, of course, that like John Henry and Natalie were going to be doing in Metropolis, but it looks like it's going to be set in Smallville, and I do wonder if that's what revitalizes Smallville. It's not really anything specifically to do with Clark Kent or Lois Lane or anything like that, but it's like John Henry's thing, and he moves Steelworks to Smallville, and it revitalizes the industry there and gives a lot of people jobs, brings people into the town, just increases the economy, and we will see, maybe in a flash forward, a much more prosperous Smallville, where there's just a lot more going on, there's a lot more people there, a lot more families and stuff. I think that would be a really cool thing to see, along with some other things that you could see in the flash forward. And the flash forward could be where we get that surprise cameo, for example, just because it's very loose and you can sort of chuck whoever you want in there. So it wouldn't surprise me either if that's where that surprise cameo happens, if they want to just chuck something in there and have some fun with it. But I think ending the show with Smallville being in a much better spot than when we arrived in the present day would be a great thing to do. I think it'd be the right thing to do as well. So I definitely think that will be the case. Not saying it's 100% going to be the case, but I think it will. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like and show support. As I said, let me know in the comment section down below your various thoughts and everything we just went over in this video, whether it's from the cameo, how you think the show's going to end, how you think they might do certain things in regards to just saying goodbye to the show, but also might, you know, leave an open ending for whether it's the world as a whole or certain characters. Let me know in the comment section down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.